I'm Dhanashmi from Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering. So I'll be discussing a topic which is on cloud computing, which is what are the types of cloud and the cloud models. So before getting into this topic, you need to know what is cloud computing. So it's emerging a paradigm in the computer industry where the computing is more to a cloud of computers. So cloud is usually used as a metaphor for the wide area networks or any such large network environment. So it represents all the complexities of the network, which may include everything from cables, routers, servers, centers, and all such other devices. The characteristics of cloud service are like usually you need internet. You need to access the cloud services now, and you need to pay by need and use. So suppose for example, and it can be adjusted up and down as needed. For example, you think firstly you think like you for whatever you use you want 15 GB of storage, then later on after some days pass you just want like 300 GB. Again it can be scaled up. Again if you like no, I just want 1000 GB, again it can be scaled up. So it can be adjusted up and down as needed, so delivered from a platform of pooled computer services. So the above literature apply to all clouds, but each cloud providers uses with services at a different level of abstraction, which is referred to as a service model in the definition. So software as a service. So this is first type of service model. So this is where users simply make use of a web browser to access software that others have developed and offer as a service over the web. So whatever a software is developed by others, it is accessed by others through the web or because of this cloud service thing. So users do not have control or access to the underlying infrastructure being used to host the software. So for example, you take Salesforce's customer relationship management software and Google Docs. These are popular examples for this thing. And a platform as a service. So second, this is second time in short of PaaS. So this is where applications are developed using a set of programming languages and tools that are supported by the PaaS provider. So this provider provides users with a high level of abstraction that allows them to focus on developing their applications and not worry about the underlying infrastructure, just like the SAS model. Google App Engine and Microsoft Azure are popular example for this one. Infrastructure as a service. This is where users acquire computing services such as processing power, memory, and storage from an IaaS provider and use the resources to deploy and run their applications. In contrast to the PaaS model, the IaaS model is a low level of abstraction that allows users to access the underlying infrastructure through the use of virtual machines. IaaS gives users some more flexibility than PaaS. However, flexibility comes with a cost, and users are responsible for updating and patching and the operating system at the IaaS level. So, the famous example Amazon Web Services EC2 and S3 are so types of cloud computing. Let's look into what are the firstly private cloud. So the name itself tells like it is restricted, like restricted access is there. So particularly exclusively it is used by one particular organization, and the cloud may be operated by the organization itself or a third party. So examples and Hantu's cloud computing collaborative and Concur technologies. So public cloud also it can be used by like anyone from by the usually generated by the public. So sometimes some fee might be charged, like Microsoft you can use, but for Microsoft 365 you need to pay if you want to use their services, right? So Google or Amazon also public clouds require significant investment and are usually owned by large corporations. Community cloud. So this cloud is usually shared by several organizations and is usually set up for their specific requirements. The source cloud or test bed could be regarded as a community cloud that aims to support research in cloud computing. Example, all government organizations within the state of Pakistan may share a computing infrastructure on the cloud to manage data related to citizens residing in Pakistan. So, hybrid cloud, a cloud that is set up using a mixture of the MO3 deployment models. So, hybrid means like it can be a combo of the other three clouds we just now we studied, you know. So, each cloud in hybrid cloud could be independently managed, but applications and data would be allowed to move across the hybrid cloud. So hybrid clouds allows cloud bursting to take place, which is where a private cloud can burst out to a public cloud when it requires more resources. Example: Salesforce cloud computing for high or peak load requirements. So the advantages are low or no startup cost, payment according to need or use, because you just for how much ever you will be, or you might according to your requirement only you're gonna pay for it, not like more or less also. So it gives a greater flexibility in relation to fast up and down scaling of resource needs, and possibility of full service with maintenance also. And it is easier also, cheaper access to new software versions. So the disadvantages of this thing is financial trade-off is necessary. It might be more expensive over time than an in-house solution. Lack of control on operation and development. Cost of data traffic to and from the solution. So data security and return of data upon termination. So since it's through virtual environment, so there are chances of someone what DDoS is attack might happen. So it's a little bit concerning about data breaches or some other things which might uh, affect or leak the data. So this is a big concern. Otherwise, cloud computing is it gives a lot of advantages. Okay, let's watch a video on this.
And you have all the expertise to install the software on top of it and make it work, then go for IaaS. If you only want a platform or an interface to program or an interface to upload a program and make it run, then pick PaaS. Or if all that you want is a finished product hosted in the cloud and be able to access it through the internet, then go for SaaS. Here you get a username and password for an application and you can begin to customize the application based on your needs. All right, let's talk about IaaS in a bit more detail. IaaS, it gives basic computing infra. It's based on a pay for what you use model. And some of the cloud providers who are big players are AWS, Azure, and Google. And here, the users generally will be IT admins. In PaaS, the provider gives you a platform or a runtime environment for developing, testing, and managing application. It's platform ready. You buy the platform, you upload your code, and you start working on it. And it allows the software developers to deploy applications without running the underlying infrastructure. And as you might have guessed by now, the interesting candidate who would use PaaS is software developers. And in SaaS, everything is managed by the vendor, be it the hardware or the software, it's managed by the vendor, and we pay for the service and we pay for it through a pay-as-you-go subscription model. And as you might have guessed, the end users here would be end customer itself. All right, let's put together everything in the same page and compare and contrast the different types of service models. In this chart, it explains the difference between the four models, starting from on-premises to IaaS and then PaaS and SaaS. It is self-explanatory that the resources managed by us are huge in on-premises and little less in IaaS, and further less or reduced in PaaS, and nothing to manage when it comes to SaaS. Let me also explain the different types of cloud services through an example like this. Let's say that you have a crush on cake and you're planning to bake one yourself. Now let's look at the options you can have. You can make all the ingredients yourself, be it the flour, butter, and put together and bake the whole thing yourself using your own oven, pan, the needed water, and the rest. You get an idea, right? Everything is yours, and that's on premises. All that you use is owned by you and nothing is managed by the vendor. The other options you can have is buy the ingredients and mix and bake the cake yourself. Now, this would be like IaaS. Here, the infra is managed by the provider and we get to use it and customize it the way we want it. Here, the cloud service is a shared responsibility. The other options you still have on hand is simply pick a phone and order a cake. Now, this is a lot simpler than the rest we discussed so far. It's simply picking the phone and ordering the cake and pay for it when it arrives. Simple. And when it reaches home, you will have to arrange the table, garnish the cake if that's needed, and then enjoy the cake. It's the same way with PaaS. Just get the platform in which you would run your code and upload your code and start running your application. Here, you and the vendor still share the responsibility. You still have one more option left, that is simply go out and dine. This is a lot simpler, that it requires no effort from us at all. You buy the fully finished and garnished cake and pay for it and walk out. No responsibility on making the cake. It's the same way with SaaS. We buy the finished product and pay for the finished application. I really hope you enjoy this video.
That's it about this concept. Thank you for watching this video.